yeah.
This is Melissa Toppenberg, and I'm going to share with you a recipe that I actually got off of Oprah on a special episode that she did, and I think it even came from Donald Trump's chef. I'm not really sure, but it's for turkey burgers. So it's pretty much challenge friendly. There's a few things in it that are a little questionable, like the chutney has high fructose corn syrup. There's not that much of it in here, so it's really a pretty good recipe. And if you're like me and my family, our main complaint with turkey burgers was the fact that they're always kind of dry and they're just, you know, it's just turkey. You put it on there and without putting anything in it, it just kind of tastes kind of bland. So this recipe is really good. It takes a little bit of prep beforehand, and that's the worst part of it, is getting everything done and getting it all mixed together. But once you do that, and especially if you freeze them, which is the best way to go, you can totally set yourself up and just pull them out of the freezer, you know, on a midweek day, and throw them on the barbecue, and you're all set to go. In fact, they do much better on the barbecue if you froze them first, because for some reason, even if you chill them for a couple hours in the fridge after you make them, they tend to fall apart on the barbecue. But if you freeze them, you would think, oh, they're frozen, it's going to kind of taste not so great, but they taste much better, and they don't fall apart, they stay together, and life is great. So freeze them beforehand. Okay, so I've got my turkey, and I'm going to toss in the celery, and I've just chopped it, you know, not huge pieces, because this is all going to be mixed in. So you want to make sure that it's, you know, something you're going to want to bite into, not this huge piece of celery. And then we've got the onions. And the Tabasco sauce is the smoky kind. It comes in a box, so it's not your regular Tabasco. It's kind of got that smoky flavor in it. And it calls for canola oil, I believe. I use olive oil. I tend to use that the most over any other oil. And the lemon juice with the rind included. And I think I've got a seed in there. No lemon seeds. Okay. And parsley. 2 tablespoons of salt, which will seem like quite a bit, but this makes a lot of burgers. So or not. You're going to want a fair amount of salt to dress up that turkey. The black pepper, I never measure. You're working with about 4 pounds of meat, so, you know, whatever you feel would be about the right amount of pepper. And the chutney is about a 1/4 cup. And this stuff, when I first learned about it, I kind of was like, where the heck is this stuff? It took me forever to find it in the grocery store. And it usually will be around the dressing, or usually around the dressings you can find it. And that's what that looks like, because it took me forever to find this the first time I was looking for it. And the same thing with like the meatballs. You're not going to want to stick this on the KitchenAid, which is what I used to do, because it's just a lot easier. You don't like sticking your hands in the meat. But it really does make a difference on the meat not being so tough. So you're just going to get it and mix it up. And when you shape the burgers, you want to make them big, because they tend to cook down, which if you've done burgers before, even with ground beef, you'll notice that that'll happen. Oh, apples. I need apples. That's what I'm missing. I knew this didn't look right. Okay, you got it. Okay, this is a whole heck of a lot of apples. It's 3 Granny Smith apples chopped up. But all this stuff together is what makes these so incredible. I can guarantee it. You make these things for a barbecue and you don't really tell anybody, you know, that you've got a new special recipe, and you make these, and everybody's going to be like, what the heck was that? Those are really good, and you'll be the hit of the barbecue. Okay, so you can see this burger down here. I've made it really nice and big and really nice and thick. That's about the size you want to make them, so that you don't end up with this really wimpy little turkey burger by the time it cooks down. And by the way, I've pre-cut my parchment. You can either use parchment or wax paper. Just go ahead and have them pre-cut ahead of time so that you can just press out your burgers and just layer them on top of each other, and you can stick this whole thing right in the freezer and let them freeze. Okay, so they've been in the freezer for about 5 hours. The longer you freeze them, the better. And we threw them on the barbecue, and this is what they look like when they're done. This is one for the kids. I'm going to let them dress up how they want it. We put these on the real thin bagel rounds, and we've also got some that are like the everything bagel. That's what Chris and the kids are doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to throw some low-calorie mayonnaise on there as well, and some lettuce, and I'll probably have about 2 of those because that's what's going to be better for the 90-day challenge, omitting the bread altogether, and it's actually really good. And then I've got corn on the cob and a big salad. I'm not going to miss the bread. Anyway, before you grill these, take some olive oil or canola, olive oil I like better, and brush over your grill a little bit right before you put them down, and they will stick a lot less. But if you freeze them, that'll help a lot too. So there you go, amazing turkey burgers.